If you are looking to learn about how to edit videos, and one of the first things you may want to do is add text to your videos, this video is going to cover the free video editing software included with Mac OS laptops and Mac Studios and iMacs called iMovie. So we are going to be covering how to do that simple task as a end-to-end tutorial in this video. Now, most people have challenges sprucing up their videos, whether they're making YouTube content or just want to share nice edited videos with their friends and family. Not everyone is a graphic designer, but luckily this free software with iMovies allows people to easily create nice little text and titles to add to their videos. And we're going to be covering how to do that right now. So when you first use iMovie, if you don't know how to get it, you actually need to download it from the App Store, which you could open up in the settings and then searching for iMovie, and it should be one of the first settings that appears. And I have already downloaded it, but it will say like get or download. You click that button. Once it's done downloading, you simply hit open and you'll be presented with this screen below. So after you want to make your first video, you can just create new. A lot of times you want to stick with just using the movie, and we're going to be focusing on how we could get content in. So I've already pulled some content in, but what you could do is if you have a Finder window, just simply drag and drop the files that you want and then drag them into your iMovie folder, and they should appear on the screen. So these are files that you could add to the timeline, which is here below. You drag and drop video clips and photos to start creating your movie. So if we just simply drag one of the videos below, we now have a clip that we could add content over. So now for adding titles or graphics, the way to do that is you click this that says titles, and you're presented with every single text that iMovie has to add over it. So when you click your mouse over it, it presents the animation that will appear over the video that you have in your timeline. And then there are several options to edit it afterwards. So most of the time, these titles that you see can be put over the movies, and there are some funny ones, such as the Star Wars one in the bottom left, that probably wouldn't belong over a text because it as you can see here, it could go over, but it could also be its own video. So let's just talk about that for a moment. If you wanted to just have a black screen with text over it, similar to how Star Wars is, you drag and drop from this window down below, and it creates this own text timeline in which it can be edited and added to its own stuff. So what you do is you click the blue blocks, that is the text that you just dragged over, and you can change this to whatever you want it to be. Oops, can't spell. And after you make that change, it should appear in your preview window, which is the top right that you're seeing on the screen. Now you're also able to drag and click around, and it could tell you how long the text will appear on screen. And another way to also change that is on the top here, they have options that you could change. You could set and type in as well how long you would like the duration to be. So it perfectly edits it depending on if you're trying to match this with music or something. That could be something you want to do. The other options as well is when you click on a title box, it tells you which font you could use, and you could change it to anything you want it to be. And you could also change the size as well, the bold and stuff of that nature. Additionally, highlighting over it, you could see there's different options such as outlines, stuff like that. Changing the color also works in this window as well. If you just scroll around and change the font, these are all the options you could do for changing the text here. Now, let's pivot over to adding text on top. So let's just start with the one that's on the very top left, which is called slide. Once you drag it over the video, you can see as we move the timeline over, or even if we press the spacebar to play, you have this text title animation that nicely appears overwards, and it indicates here that's 4 seconds. So you have the same options as well. If it's independent or not over video, you could change the duration, and you could add any settings you want here, and then the same settings as well as changing the font and stuff of that nature. So one thing to consider in iMovies is that currently with titles, you're unable to actually move the title's location. So the only way to choose that is by choosing the preset themes here. You can see here that this title will just stay in the middle of the text, but it might be difficult to actually see anything if it's blocking. So you might want to use lower thirds to kind of not get in the way of the content. Now, if you do want to add your own text, this kind of gets into some advanced territories, but you'd have to kind of drag and drop an image over your picture and then drag it over the video as well. The simplest way is what I'm showing you here with titles. But if you did want to do that, we could go into something like flaming text. You could get a video. You can see here, the last time I used this is how to make $1 million in a year. But if we're making some content, we could just say custom text for iMovie, hit the next. So after we have used any type of software to create text, I like using flaming text, and we've downloaded it. We can drag and drop that downloaded file into iMovie, and naturally as a graphics, it sometimes defaults to this Ken Burns effect. You can click it and change it to just fit. Now what happens is we don't like this black background, so we'll want it to be placed wherever we want. In the top left here, it states cutaway. You could make it a picture in picture and then drag and scale it to what font you'd like. And this allows you to place it anywhere you'd like on screen, but you don't have that kind of graphic and it just appears on screen. So to recap, because that was kind of an advanced, you download any software maker for custom text, such as flamingtext.com. You can edit the text in this free website and then customize it the way you want. Make sure though, when doing this, you set the background to transparent. And then once we download this file, we can simply drag it into iMovies and then make sure to do the picture in picture to get it to be wherever you want to place it. So now, as an overall recap for this video, if you're trying to get titles and text onto the screen, the way to do that is after you drag your media, any media source, into your timeline, you go into titles, or you could use several results here and just drag it into your timeline. In each title's text, you can click these top buttons to edit what features you have, such as the color, outline, bold, and font. And then if you want something kind of like text over screen, you can choose from any of these settings, which will just appear on the screen and cannot be positioned, but you're still able to change the text and stuff of that nature. And then finally, slightly advanced method, if you want to have more control over where it is on screen, then you can make a custom graphic with Canva or something of that nature, add it to the iMovies, and then position it with the position buttons here and picture in picture, and allows it to move. Now with iMovies, you are unfortunately limited with titles. There are some options such as free video editing software that I'll cover in this channel, such as Resolve, or and then a paid version is Final Cut Resolve if you're on macOS. So be sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to get more of that series on being a content creator, growing your YouTube, and just in general, like technology reviews and stuff of that nature. That's the type of content you'll get. And I appreciate you guys watching this video. Leave any comments below if you need any help with specific things you're working on. And I'd love to see you guys creating content and growing your online presence. Take care.